US versus Sean Combs, day 27. We had a half day today, and right off the bat, I just want to share some scheduling info. The government will most likely rest their case at the end of the day on Monday, and the defense said that their case in chief may only last 1 to 2 days, so they could rest as soon as Wednesday afternoon, and then we could do closing arguments Thursday or Friday. So that was pretty big. I mean, I'm not taking any of this conclusively, but I wanted to just alert everybody as far as scheduling goes. And the judge also discussed jury charges being discussed next Wednesday afternoon as well. Okay, so let's go to our first witness of the day, Brendan Paul. Brendan Paul was the person that was arrested in 2024, in March of 2024, at a Miami airport, and all of the headlines said that it was Diddy's drug mule that was arrested, his drug dealer. No, that really couldn't be further from the truth. Brendan Paul was a personal assistant of Diddy's, and he's actually a pretty impressive guy. He went to Syracuse. He was a walk-on college basketball player. He even played in the NCAA tournament. I think it was in 2019. But he testified that he was arrested, and that's kind of what ended his employment March 25th, 2024. And what happened was he was cleaning one of Diddy's hotel rooms. He saw, I guess it was 0.07 of a gram. What is it? I don't even know how I don't know how to talk about drugs, but it was like 0.007 grams of cocaine, whatever that means. And he found it, he took it with him, and he forgot that he had it on him. So at the airport, when they searched him, they found it, and he actually did not snitch. He never said whose it was. And just skipping ahead a little bit, he did say he had a great lawyer, so he ended up getting those charges dropped. He did some community service and took some classes and whatnot. But he testified that he had never spoken to Diddy since that arrest, and he hadn't seen him either. So he started working for Diddy at the end of 2022. So he worked for him for about 18 months, let's say. And he talked about some of his duties, which were just organizing Diddy's suitcases, doing Amazon returns, coordinating with the chefs. And he also said that he packed he packed a lot of I'll say that again. He packed a lot of joints in the garage. That was part of his duty. He also said that he did do some drug runs for Diddy, and he testified though that he only spent about between $100 and $500 for these said drugs, which could be anything from cocaine, ecstasy to prescription pills. He once was tasked to get Diddy's Xanax, but he wasn't able to find it, but he said another assistant did. The government also asked him a lot about who he communicated with. Was it more KK? Was it other assistants? Was it Diddy himself? I think they were trying to bring KK in a lot as this alleged co-conspirator. He also talked about some of the travel booking. He brought up Jessica Ruiz, who we now know is the person that was in charge of travel. We've seen her name pop up a lot. And he testified that he worked between 80 and 100 hours a week. He made $75K to start, then made $100,000 when he left. And he set up hotel rooms for king nights a number of times, not a ton. And he cleaned up after these king nights as well. Again, a handful of times. He said that he wore gloves because it was a little bit unsanitary, probably slippery, I'm guessing. And he also said that when he first started, Eli Marone, one of the other assistants, told him that he should just use this job to get in and get out, break up with his girlfriend, and also don't expect to see your family and friends ever. And let's see. He talked about only witnessing Diddy doing drugs maybe once or twice, and that one time Diddy asked him to do a drug. It was like K2, I think it is what it's called, which is like a form of ketamine and Molly. And Diddy wanted him to try it to see if it was good. And Brendan Paul said he tried a little bit of it, but he wasn't upset about it because he wanted to prove his loyalty. He also talked about staying up for 3 days straight with naps here and there, working on a special project in 2023, which was Diddy's album Love. And he actually said that this didn't bother him because he was young and he was, you know, happy to do it. It was exhilarating, so to speak, because he was working on this album. That's kind of what Brian Steele elicited from him during the cross. He also spoke of certain drug dealers that he communicated with, and he mentioned the name One Stop, Guido. We saw the picture of Guido. He looks like a Guido, by the way. And someone named Baby Girl. What else? Oh, he was asked about Jane. He communicated, you know, at some point with Jane because he set up these hotel rooms, and he was asked, well, you know, this, I'm going into cross a little bit, but let me just make sure I didn't miss anything from the direct. He testified that the Wild King nights stopped happening at hotels after Cassie's lawsuit dropped. And then we saw photos of Baby Oil and Astroglide, and he took a photo of this because he said he was telling another assistant how it needed to be organized. Yeah, and that's really it for the direct. Oh, and outfits from a sex store. He took pictures because he was asked to go, I guess, get some things during a Wild King night for Jane and Diddy, but Diddy, when he sent these photos of the outfits from the sex store, Diddy never answered. So then, okay, back to cross. So the cross-examination, again, Brian Steele was the one who kind of said, look, you are this college basketball player. You are very motivated. You're very intelligent. You know, you would not work for anyone who was a criminal. And he said, no, I wouldn't. And he just said, was there anything, or did you think anything illegal was happening in these hotel rooms for these Wild King nights? And he said no. You know, he just thought it was time for Diddy to have personal time and blow off some steam. Oh, in the direct examination, by the way, he did testify that he once, or he had to coordinate Diddy getting $5,000 to the hotel room for a Wild King night. So that'll be important for the redirect. But yes, so he said, nope, I didn't see anything illegal happening. I thought he was just having sexy time, some partying, whatever. And then he said, you know, you were excited to work for Mr. Combs. This was like a big deal for you. You were, you know, you looked up to him, and you, or basically he was someone that you wanted to be like in the music industry. And he just kind of said, yeah. And he said that, yes, after he would see Jane after these Wild King nights, did she ever appear sorry? Did she ever appear regretful? Did she ever appear disturbed? And Brendan Paul's answer was absolutely not. And again, he brought up the day that he stayed up really late, and he said it was for the album release, and it was exhilarating. And he kind of said, you know, do you think that you're indebted to Sean Combs for the experiences that you had? And he's like, I don't know about indebted, but, you know, he kind of said that he was grateful for the opportunity. And then, you know, even without getting immunity here, you would still tell the truth. And he's like, yeah, of course. And then during the redirect, this is what I'm getting at, the government brought up, well, what did you kind of think that the $5,000 was for when you went to go bring it to him? But there were some objections, and it didn't really get answered. And she just said, well, what was your understanding? Objection. Did you provide him with cash at any other times? No, not that I can remember. And then she said, how do you feel about Sean Combs? And he said, it's complicated. When he got off the stand, they didn't look at each other, Diddy or Brendan Paul. Diddy kind of nodded his head a little bit during that testimony, nothing crazy. And then we saw some text messages that were put into evidence from Cassie and Diddy. And it was back and forth with Cassie talking about being abused. She talked about an incident that happened after the Met Gala where he dragged her, and then the government added some context there after Tenny Garagos objected during a sidebar and during a break, where Cassie kind of said, you know, I love doing FOs when we both agree to it. And the last witness of the day will continue on Monday, and this is Joseph Cerciello, and it was just more charts and graphs corroborating the escort travel and everything pertaining to the Jane era. So, well, oh my gosh, sorry, the sun is so bright, but we will continue with all of that on Monday. It'll go through the rest of the day. And he, again, the prosecutor Maureen Comey also said oops, God, I'm a mess. There will be a video of S tapes shown to the jury with Jane. So more Monday.